you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
Stop.
This is a sham. Welcome to DBL. Nice. I like the energy.
I had some coffee.
That was a Tuesday energy right there, huh, Tora?
The evening time, we got to wake up for the last half, last third. Here for
Last third.
This is maybe like a pregame for some people.
Maybe, yeah.
It
Young
is.
Al, this would be, ooh, yeah.
It'd be an early pregame, early. What are we talking about here? Let's talk about Grey's Anatomy star Jesse Williams. He was just nominated for a Tony Award, but everyone was talking about him for a very different reason. So during a performance of his Broadway play, Take Me Out, someone took photos of Jesse nude on stage. The full frontal pics were taken during a shower scene and were posted all over social media yesterday. And according to the theater's website, spectators were required to put their phones in a sealed case during the show. Jesse has not spoken publicly about the leak, but he did talk about performing nude on Watch What Happens Live. Let's watch.
Everybody makes such a big deal. It's a body.
Right.
It doesn't. Once you see it, you realize it's not. Whatever.
Your mom was like,
it's
just
a
how I
body.
left it.
Yeah. He's like, it didn't grow at all. Okay.
That's
like,
true.
But it's not.
on the
I just
other
have
hand,
to not make it
true,
such a big
but
deal.
on the Ooh. So where do we go with this, Al? Let's go to you because you're a comedian. This happens a lot in comedy clubs, right? If you ever go to a comedy show, you got to put your phone away. But what's to say if you have two phones, right?
That's how, and I was kind of, I was touring with somebody that was kind of on ground zero for this in terms of the phone cases, and it actually worked pretty well, which I was surprised. People were very okay with that. They kind of understood that, but there's an easy workaround with this, and it's take two phones. So you give them one, and you keep one, and you go into the theater, and you can clearly film. Now, for Jesse, I just like he's coming off of a really brutal divorce, and he took this job, and clearly he's done such a great job. He's now been nominated for a Tony, and I really like that. Even though he's dealt with some adversity lately, Tori, he's done a really good job of still taking it in stride, being funny about it, being fun and natural. And I do like that he's like, guys, it's okay.
Yeah.
I do like that he handled it like that.
Yeah, I think
that's before. Wait, this interview was before the nudes leaked.
It leaked, right?
But his idea about nudity on stage to him was very much like what an actor feels. Like, it's your body, it's your instrument, it's not a big deal. I've seen this on Broadway. It's called Take Me Out, and it's an amazing scene because a player is coming out of the closet.
An amazing scene.
No, it is, because the audience isn't expecting it, and he's coming out of the closet, and it's a shower scene, and it opens, and it's male nudity, which you rarely see on Broadway or on stage, and it's a defining moment in the play, and I think Jesse is the perfect person to have this moment come for him, and he's doing it so well. He's got a Tony nomination, so good for him.
Yeah, just to point out, like Erica was saying, this interview was most likely before the photos were leaked.
Right.
Yeah, just want to make that clear.
Because I didn't think that it was a response to the leak.
No,
it was
it was
not.
a response to him being nude
Having
on
to be
stage.
nude on
right.
stage, exactly.
Right. And I also, we hear about the idea of this being done intentionally. I really do believe that Jesse is a very serious actor, that he takes this role very seriously, that he doesn't need this type of publicity, so to speak. We've all known who he is for quite some time. So I do think it is a violation of privacy to do it that way. And I know it sounds strange when someone is nude on stage, but when there's an understanding of how it's going to be handled, I think it's a bit violating.
Even though it's violating, do you think that you would anticipate this if you were going to do that scene? Should he have anticipated something leaking?
1,000,000%, in my opinion.
Not saying it's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's tough.
Listen, he's out there anyway, so now everything's out there as well as the play.
That's right.
So I guess all press is good press in some sort of aspect, especially if it's big press. You know what I mean? All right. Have you heard about these deep fake videos? I need a deep fake for. All right. So have you heard about these deep fake videos? This technology lets you replace your image with someone else's. Rapper Kendrick Lamar used it in his new video, so check out who he transformed into.
I said I do this for my culture, to let y'all know what a look like in a bulletproof Rover. In my mama's sofa was a doodle popper, hair trigger, walk up closer, ain't no photoshopping. Friends bipolar, grab you by your pockets, no option if you froze up. I always play the offense.
That's wild. So aside from O.J. Simpson and Kanye, he also morphed into Will Smith and Jussie Smollett. But some adult video sites are also using the technology to post images of celebrities You know what I mean? Kind of getting into the last thing, bringing it over. But let's
Stop using your hands.
Let's stay on track here. So, what do you think about this video? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I was curious what you thought, Al, about the people that he chose to deep fake and what that message was really about.
Well, I mean, I went down a rabbit hole with this last night, and I thought it was really interesting. What I think he was trying, what I took from it is that the black experience and the collective black culture is all of us. It's not just kind of the people we highlight and the people we aspire to be, but we make up a collective, and like whether it's Jesse or OJ, they all play a part in the fabric of what it is to be black in America, what it is to be gay in America, and how you are perceived by people. And when I looked at this video, there was a couple things. One, the deep fake was super disturbing, but I did appreciate that Kendrick continues to be, I feel like, at the razor's edge of pushing the envelope of what it means to be black, what it means to have difficult conversations and layered conversations, which is what all of his raps are. So I thought it was his best work up to date, and if anybody knows what a fan I am of his, that's a big statement. But I thought the video was amazing. I thought the lyrics were amazing, and I thought the concept of bringing in figures that are kind of reviled in certain corners of black America and showing that they all make up who we are.
See,
I thought it was really interesting.
I took it as in a different way, but I did agree that it was like he used specific people for a reason. Will Smith, OJ, people who have been publicly in the press not seen so well recently, right? And to me, I was wondering if it was a comment on how we view black Americans or black men, and is it all the same? Is it a comment on racism that we see one, I'm not saying me, I'm saying people, see one black person and they see all the people that have all these issues and they put it in one? That was a social commentary for me, but I think it can be taken both ways.
Oh, that's interesting. What'd you take from it, Copy?
I think they're both of the ways that you guys have received it. I think that there's probably a little bit of truth in all of it.
Right.
I think it's also a commentary on where we've come in terms of technology and the ability to be everything and somehow be nothing at all. So.
Yeah, I mean, overall, did this just scare you guys? Because,
yes.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's where I was
that?
going. I love that, Al, because this is the first time I saw that, and my brain didn't go there right away.
Watch it.
Yeah, now I was just kind of looking at the technology aspect of it. But if we run that video again, you could always tell, man. Even like I always say, like in Crazy People, like I don't mean to say that, but you could tell in the eyes. And when he switches, you could always tell in the eyes that it's not real. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right now, put another 2 years.
Exactly.
And also, he's a rapper. Just imagine people that get paid to be a reenactor for OJ. You know, where they have his mannerisms down and his pauses. You've seen comics nail Obama, nail George Bush Jr. Once you get these people down, I don't know if most Americans, especially if they're leaning one way or the other, if you had that deep fake say something, people would be like, oh yeah, now that's a deep fake. And also it could be used as an excuse if you say something and that was a deep fake.
Yeah, that Tom Cruise guy is like the best.
And that was a year ago.
Yeah.
Put 2 more years on it.
He just did one and I thought it was real. And I knew it wasn't real. And I was like, Coming up on DBL, actor Sean Whalen is revisiting his classic Got Milk commercial. Wait until you hear the funny story about how he actually got the part. And a first look at the new Avatar movie 13 years after the original.
Wow.
We'll show you the sneak peek. Speaking of deep fakes, coming up next.
I hated this.
Do this for my culture to let y'all know what a look like in a bulletproof Rover. In my mama's sofa was a doodle popper, hair trigger, walk up closer.
Closed captioning provided by
Daily Blast Live is always timely, always focused, always ready, always on cue. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day. I got it. What are you talking about?
All right, Troy, we're talking deep fakes here.
Yeah, I don't know. When art is subjective like that, it's really interesting from what you see as a point of view. But he clearly picked Kendrick Lamar, such specific people to be represented that you either see it as
like Angelina Jolie
we're all one culture, or how are we viewed, right? Because we're watching it, it's just a person looking back at you. So it's like, how are we viewed according to you, and how are we viewed according to us? I also think the idea of like Photoshop filters, body cams, technology, all that is playing into it. So he's just really remarkable.
I mean, this is going to be
really remarkable.
I mean, I can't, just going forward.
Beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of art, and also
multimedia art.
Like this is like gonna cause me to go down another rabbit hole tonight in terms of like
Don't worry
why
about
exactly
it.
he selected
When I
them. I
see
know
the
why
script,
I think he did. And what I took from it is like if you think about all the characters that we're talking about, whether it's Jussie, OJ, Kanye, they were people that were beloved.
Yeah.
Arguably, you cannot tell
Very
the story
true.
of,
Will Smith.
of college football without OJ or being famous without OJ.
Totally agree.
You cannot tell the story of hip hop without Kanye being involved.
Fall from grace.
Right, and this fall from grace, and like, does that make them just expendable? And like, what is this process? And why weren't these people that loved them so much there to help them when it looks like in their worst moment? So there's just a lot going on with
And
the
also
people.
film, you think, I thought of like, I know this kind of goes crazy, but like Rodney King and the whole idea of like filming stuff, like it really reflected to me a whole thing on like what cameras and technology can do.
I mean,
I think that's really interesting. They all fell from grace in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the forefront of like some technology, and I think that this is what happens is we're always our technology's way further ahead than society is.
Yeah, I know.
And we don't have ways to adjudicate this.
Regulate this.
Right, like what if somebody puts out a sex tape of you and you're like, that's not me.
What if
and these
Putin
people
comes out and says, I have a nuke and it's not Putin?
Right.
And we're all like...
This family is our fortress.
Welcome back. That was some scenes from the long-awaited sequel to Avatar. It hits theaters this December, 13 years after the original. It's still the highest-grossing film globally of all time. I didn't know that. But there's a bunch of other blockbusters headed to theaters this summer. Looks like movies are back. Doctor Strange has already brought in $450 million from the global box office. There's lots of excitement over Top Gun 2 Maverick, which is expecting to smash opening day records on Memorial Day weekend. And Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Chris Pratt are all back in Jurassic World
Dominion.
Oh, I thought it was Domination this June. Also in June, Buzz Lightyear's original story, Lightyear, it comes to theater, to the big screen as well. So anyone looking forward to one over the other?
Avatar sucks.
Oh,
Why? That's what my face was when we first started it, because I was like, what? You
Yeah,
don't like that?
Tori was commenting over.
Why don't you like that?
I thought, and maybe many people will disagree with me. Many
You
people.
mean all of the people?
No,
'Cause it's
actually,
number
a lot
one
of people
grossing?
agree. I know it's the number one, but a lot of people.
Well, tell us why you don't like it.
So it's an enormous movie for technology and what it did, and I went in with the 3D glasses. I felt it was overblown, over budgeted, didn't have a story, I wasn't invested. I didn't love the technology either, and a lot of people feel this way. I'm excited for those fans, but I'm not an Avatar fan.
So it's just a technology. So it's going to be 13 years.
There was no heart. It was all.
Yeah, it's not Casablanca. It's just a cartoon movie.
No, it's
about
more
some
than that. It's
people.
supposed about planets, about good versus evil, and to me,
Like
I
every
never.
movie?
No, but I never got invested at all, and I think a lot of people felt that way. It's just not.
So
for
you
me.
hate like Academy Award movies that win?
No.
He's
Well, you don't
coming
like
for
Lucy?
you. You know what he's coming. I know
Yeah.
what you're going for.
Yeah, you
You're
know
trying
where
to
I'm
walk
going
her
with
into
that.
That didn't win.
I'm going to say this though.
But she was up for Best Actress.
Yeah, but she didn't win.
She was nominated.
Yeah, she didn't win.
What's your favorite movie?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah, but you know it ends.
good one.
And yeah, it's a good one. I'll say this. I'm a little disappointed, Erica, because I see all these movies coming out. I'm going to watch Maverick, of course. But I feel like I want to watch Doctor Strange, but I'm worried I'm not in the Marvel universe, so it won't make sense to me.
This will be Doctor
But I
Strange.
don't have 40 hours to catch up on the movies.
None of this makes sense to me. Not one of these movies. I mean, I love that people are excited. I love that movies are back. I love it for the industry. None of these movies have any
Which would you
appeal.
go to? You had to pick one. Which one of these? Maverick, Doctor Strange, Avatar 2, or Jurassic
Buzz Lightyear?
Park?
Jurassic
no.
Park?
I saw the preview
No.
for Buzz Lightyear. It looks cool.
I don't ever have to do anything.
I mean, in this hypothetical world, you're not going to go to the hypothetical movies in the hypothetical world.
no. I have no basis to pick anything because my brain just doesn't compute like that.
Just have your brain say Jurassic Park.
I'll take over. I'll take over. Jurassic Park, I'm looking forward to the most. Everybody's back. So all the originals, they're bringing everybody. Most likely what I'm going to see, Buzz Lightyear, because I have 2 kids.
I was going to say, this is like the movies are coming out for you, Jeff, because you're going to go watch Maverick probably by yourself. with Jordan. The kids are going to be Buzz Lightyear, Jurassic Park, and Avatar 2. I mean, this is like a good family summer movie.
And Avatar's a theater movie, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're going to see it, you should probably go to the theater.
Music,
yeah.
They all seem like theater movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All theater movies that you will not be seeing.
Yes. In her hypothetical world, she's still not going.
Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, we've got the stars from the original commercial. Sean Whalen, what did it take to book the role? We'll find out next. I think I read that all wrong. See ya.
Delta Airlines made headlines last month when it announced it would begin paying flight attendants for their time while boarding an aircraft. Some social media users said they thought flight attendants were always paid during this time. So let's verify. Do most airlines pay flight attendants for their time while boarding and disembarking a plane? Our sources are the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Delta Airlines, and union contracts for flight attendants at American, United, and Southwest Airlines. The union contracts base flight attendants' hourly pay on block time or flight time. Each airline defines this period slightly differently, but it's basically the time from when the plane leaves the gate until it arrives at its destination and stops at the gate. This means when a plane is boarding or passengers are disembarking, flight attendants are not technically being paid their hourly rate. So, no, most airlines do not pay flight attendants for their time while boarding and disembarking a plane. They do receive a small per diem based on the entire time they're on duty to help pay for meals. The BLS estimates full-time flight attendants fly about 75 to 100 hours per month, and the median person earns nearly $62,000 a year. Delta says starting on June 2nd, it will start paying them a flat rate worth between 35 and 50 minutes of their hourly pay for boarding. The Association of Flight Attendants is trying to unionize Delta's workers and claimed credit for this new policy. There's also an ongoing Change.org petition with more than 170,000 signatures demanding all airlines pay crew while boarding. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are the jingles, the slogans, and the faces we couldn't get out of our head all this week. We're looking back at iconic commercials and finding out where these stars are now. Earlier, we spoke with Sean Whalen, the star of this classic commercial from 1993. You'll remember it. Take a look.
And that was the Vienna Wood Dance in B, one of my all-time favorites. And now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. It's a tough one. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? All right, let's go to the phones and see who's out there. Hello, for $10,000. Who shot... Excuse me? I'm afraid your time is almost up. I'm sorry. Maybe next time.
Got milk.
Sean Whalen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I did a million commercials, right? One of my things that I auditioned for and got was a Playtex panties commercial where all you saw was my butt and the front of me, and that was the audition. It was like a Polaroid, and when you walked in for the audition, there were a million Polaroids of just people's butts and front. Okay, what was your audition like, and why do you think they picked you?
Oddly enough, I just had to wear underwear as well. They had the bread and the peanut butter, and they said, spread it on there, put it in your mouth. They, you know, try to answer the question. And then they didn't really have an ending. I just shoved so much peanut butter in my mouth because I was younger and thinner, and my face was just packed with peanut butter when I did the audition. And then I did the whole bit. But at the end, when he loses, a lot of the guys got really mad, and they threw the phone and screamed and they yelled, and they were so mad. And I was the only one who looked at it and kind of went, my life is a joke, you know. Everything I worked for is over. They said gave the commercial an arc, and that's why they liked it. And supposedly that's
There you go.
I love it. I love hearing like behind the scenes stories of how people actually got to part 2. You did knock it out of the park, but the commercial was actually directed by Michael Bay. That's crazy. What was it like working with that guy? And I guess a lot of viewers want to know how much peanut butter and milk did you actually have to eat for that commercial?
All right. So number one, people just said, you know, Michael just doesn't like people who are afraid of him, so give him a hard time right off the bat, and he'll love that. So he walked up and said, hey, I want you to do what you did in the audition. We're going to do it over and over again, and that's what we're going to do. And I was like, okay, Sergeant, yes, sir.
Whoa.
Just make sure I don't get a beating, or, you know, and I just made a joke, and he just went, and he laughed, and he went back, and that was it. So that was good. And then I ate peanut butter continuously for 12 hours.
Wow.
I'd have 4 people in the I'd do a take, spit it out. Next person would give me water. I'd rinse, spit it out. Next person had Q-tips, rinse my mouth, or wipe my mouth clean. Next person handed me another piece of peanut butter, and we just went over and over and over.
Wow.
We did that all day. Wow. I mean, it was nuts. But at the end of the thing, I had like 7 or 8 canker sores. My lips were dry. And
that's you need like
I could not eat peanut butter. I couldn't even smell peanut butter for like 3 years.
I was going to ask you, you're like, no Skippy for me. Okay, this commercial aired on repeat for years. What was the fame like, and how many people do you still get that are like, like, do you have any memorable,
especially since Hamilton?
It was called a local commercial because it was just for California state. And as soon as that aired, I would just get people over and over again. One guy was yelling at me, just going, why didn't you spit it out? Why didn't you spit it out? And I was like, it's pretend. And I'm playing again.
It's fictional.
And I didn't get a chance for $10,000.
So how did this change your life?
It changed. Well, the main thing, what was crazy, it was since it was a local commercial, I was making no money. I mean, it was very low.
I thought you were sitting on that commercial money. You know, I thought you've been floating on that for a while.
Well, because it was local, and so it was like after I'd make like a few $100s a quarter after taxes and stuff. But it was seen by everybody, and one girl in my acting class came up to me and said, "Hey, you're the guy in the milk commercial." I said, "Yes," and she said, "Well, I work at Amblin Entertainment, and your life's going to change." And I go, "Amblin?" She goes, "Yeah, it's Steven Spielberg's commercial company." And I said, "How so?" She goes, "He loves that commercial, and he always uses people that he thinks are new faces." So 2 years later, I walked in and got Twister.
Not just Twister. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, maybe this commercial launched your career, but you've had quite the career as a character actor.
Yeah, I mean, it killed my commercial career. I had a great commercial career before this commercial, but I was done. I mean, there would be so much of a better story if my mouth was full of peanut butter and I was in a gutter just pouring milk on my head. It would be better for you guys. No, it really launched my commercial career. But then you always get in that thing, they're like, we want you to make funny faces and always have food in your mouth. And you're like,
DBL Nation, to keep up with everything Sean is doing, follow him on social media, especially his TikTok. It's great, at Sean Whalen Actor. Thank you, Sean.
That was good stuff.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Hey, and if you think I look the same, my phone head says different.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The company that owns TurboTax has reached a settlement with state attorneys general from across the country in a case that accuses the company of tricking taxpayers into paying for unnecessary products. Millions of TurboTax users are now eligible to receive checks. So if you're eligible, do you need to file any sort of claim to get that check? Here are the sources we went to for answers. The text of the settlement, the attorneys general of New York and Maryland, and Intuit, the company that owns TurboTax. The simple answer, no, you don't need to do anything. The payments will go out automatically. The attorneys general have said anyone who qualifies will receive a notice in the mail and direct payments of $30 for each year they paid for TurboTax when they didn't have to. So who qualifies? The heart of the case is that for many years, TurboTax had 2 products labeled as free. They had one service that was part of the federal IRS Free File program, and then they had another product called TurboTax Free Edition. IRS Free File is available to anyone making under $73,000 a year, no matter how complicated their returns are. TurboTax Free Edition doesn't have an income cap, but it has a different restriction. It's only actually free if you're filing what the company dubs a simple return.
So what happened is millions of people used the free edition, spent time putting their personal info into the software, and then were suddenly told their return was too complicated to be free. Instead of then directing those customers to the IRS Free File service, TurboTax directed them to their paid products. The result? Many people who could have filed for free with the IRS shelled out for a premium version of TurboTax they didn't need. If you're one of those people, you're eligible for a $30 check for every year you paid between tax years 2016, 17, and 18. The lawsuits also say TurboTax actively hid their IRS Free File service from search results. Intuit has since withdrawn from the Free File program, and a statement from the company says they are admitting no wrongdoing in the settlement. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
The federal government is spending billions to capture carbon. Let's connect the dots. President Biden's infrastructure law takes aim at reducing carbon emissions, which is a primary cause for climate change. The U.S. Department of Energy has $2.3 billion at its disposal to spend on carbon capture. That's when machines pull carbon dioxide emissions from the industrial processes, then store them deep underground. They say it's not a long-term solution, but any effort to reduce carbon right now is worth the effort. Carbon capture technology is in its very early stages and remains quite expensive. The closest the U.S. has to a financial incentive right now is a small tax credit. The Energy Secretary says the real driver of carbon capture technology will have to come from the private sector. She says the U.S. has a goal of being net zero by 2050, but admits fossil fuels will be a major part of the economy for years to come. And that is connecting the dots.
Daily Blast Live is always focused, always ready, always on cue, always timely. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day.
Welcome back. We have some tips to help ease your stress and anxiety around making a fitness plan. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. So experts suggest focusing on why you want to improve your health. This will make your efforts less about vanity or goals. Also exercise patience. Most people will feel emotionally uplifted exactly 15 minutes and 9 seconds into their workout. Very important at 9 seconds. Knowing this will allow you to look forward to the high of workout versus the low that can come with starting a fitness routine. QB is a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. And before we go, a very special friend of ours, maybe more special to you, Erica. Is it someone's birthday?
It's my husband Anthony's 40th birthday.
Yeah!
Look at him. Like, I mean, just what a cutie. But I just want to wish him the best day. Calgary's own, so all of you folks in Alberta, send some love to Anthony today.
Stand up.
And we love you too, buddy. One of the best people on earth.
Ever.
I love you, buddy. Happy 40th. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.